Welcome back to Arise Primetime, where we offer perspectives on the news and talking points of the day. I'm Samna Sambo. We now move on to Edo State, where the governorship candidate of the People's Redemption Party, Patience Ndidi-Key, has unveiled her agenda if elected governor. She made this known immediately after being declared the PRP flag bearer in the September 21 governorship election. Now, Ndidi-Key, who is the only aspirant for the PRP governorship ticket, was unanimously adopted by party members and delegates in the primary election at the party's PRP secretariat in Benin, the state capital. Now, officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission monitored the primary election, and in her acceptance speech, she said the empowerment of women and youth will be critical to her human capital development strategy, while adding that there will be an opportunity for more women to participate in governance if she's elected. Well, having been declared the candidate-elect of the PRP, she also happens to be the only female candidate in the governorship election that will be holding in Edo State on September 21. Well, Patience Ndidi-Key is the governorship candidate of the PRP, and she's an entrepreneur, strategist, and the president of Nigerians in Diaspora Chamber of Commerce. And of course, she's also a nurse. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so talk to us about your plans for the people of Edo State and why you should be trusted with this position in the midst of big players in the PDP, APC, Labour Party, and all of that.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. My plan is to use the talents and the resources we have in the state to create wealth. Like you earlier mentioned, human capital development is a big strategy that we want to use, because human capital development relates to everything that sums up, people are the greatest asset we have. So we want to use the talents, whether innate ability or learned ability, to create wealth so we can prosper the state. I was born in Edo State. I grew up in Benin City, primary school, secondary school. I went to Ambrosali University. What I see in the state is retrogression. I do not see development, So everything, when you talk about building road, when you talk about giving access in healthcare, affordable healthcare, preventive healthcare, all you're doing that for human beings. To be able to exchange goods and services on our roads, transport human lives, you're doing that for human beings. When you talk about trade and investment, everything we do is all about human. And that's how we're very important in the eyes of God. So I want to invest in the people and use their talent and the embedded resources, natural resources God has given to the state to create wealth for the state, for the benefit of the people. Yeah,
of course. So the question is, where is the PRP in Edo politics? And people will say your party seems to be at the fringe and not the mainstream. How will you react to that?
We've seen situations where LP was nowhere to be found, even if we've had LP for long. And PRP is not a new party. It's one of the oldest party. It's the party of Aminu Kanu, Chinua Achebe of blessed memory. So I think when people get to understand the value in the person of the candidate, yes, Edo people have a mind of their own. We're not easily swayed. We know what we want and when we want it. So for right now, it's not about the party. Yes.
You think so? You think that?
Yeah, the people
does the PRP actually have structures that get way down to the local governments, to the wards and all of that?
Yes, of course we do.
Okay.
We do in the 18 local government. Of course, after the last election, of course, things happen, but we have a good number of people and we are growing strong.
So if you're going into this election as the only woman amid these other contenders who are battling each other, the APC, PDP and Labour Party, how would you want to tackle someone like Asue Godalo of the PDP or Lumide Akpata of the Labour Party, or, of course, Senator Monday Okpebolo of the APC? I mean, what gives you the confidence that the Edo people can actually vote you and the PRP rather than these parties?
I've been in the male-dominated, space for a very long time. As the former chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora organization, when I was voted into power, there were 30 directors on board. 34 directors on board, 30 men and 4 women. And I contested and I won the election. So I have been in this space for a very long time. And for me, leadership is not about gender. It's about visionary. It's about transformation. It's about servant leadership. I think that is what the Edo people need, and that is what any generation, any community who wants development, who wants growth need. It's not about, you know, whether the person is a woman or a man, you know. So I've been in that space. I have conquered all the time, and I have won. So I swear, Pata and the rest, they're just human beings like myself.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that positivity, actually. But you're also from the diaspora, and people say you may not necessarily have enough structure to have been well known in Edo politics over time. You've been based in the US and all of that. So how do you think that people, I mean, voters can actually see a representation from you when mostly you are in the diaspora?
You see, diaspora is a strong force in our community. The diaspora remits an average of $25 billion to the community, our society, annually, an average. And we do that for our brothers and sisters. That's what we use to cushion and help our government. So without the diaspora, our families will not be surviving. Healthcare, education, and the rest of it. You know, so we bring brain, we bring knowledge, we bring expertise, you know, and the people know it. You know, there are just some cultural and sentimental values that have not added anything to us that so many of us promote. But guess what? Those who come to understand what it takes, you know, to be in some space, know what they want and all that. So the diaspora has done a lot. And I grew up when I was in diaspora, what does the NIDO do? We work hand in hand with the government that be for the development of the country. Nation building is all about people. That's how I define it. Nation building is not shaking hands with the government or shaking hands with governors. It's about, you know, dealing with human beings and see how you can advance them. And I also tried to effect change in my state. You know, I tried to work with in terms of human trafficking. I reached out to my state, not because I'm from Edo State, but because it is prevalent in that area. And when, you know, we have interactions with the diplomatic missions, we have 3 of them in the US, the DC embassy, the consulates in Atlanta and New York. Yeah. You know, but they bring all this information to us, they bring this problem for us, and we reach out as far. So being the former chairman of Nigerians in diaspora in US, I wasn't only living in US, I was connected, you know, in the globe. And when I saw the prevalent, I reached out, I tried to get information about who to talk to, and I was introduced to one Dr. Moregbe. And you know, the thing was that, oh, you know, are you even from Edo State? And I don't have to be from Edo State to save lives. But later I told her that yes. And when we had a town hall for Buhari when he visited New York, my organization and the NIDCOM was, you know, the organizers of that. I walked up to my state governor, Ndidi-Key, and introduced myself, and I've been trying to reach, because, you know, why we try to do that is there are some things you want to do in a community that you need the collaboration of the public sector, you know, so you can have a voice, so you can be able to implement what you want to do. And he was interested, but afterwards, you know, and that's fine. And we have not stopped since then. Yes, being in the diaspora, we have come to, you know, I've been a part of those who have come, you know, have programs with the power that be, sit on the table to discuss solutions and all that. All right. And, you know, so I have been in the system, you know, having schooled in Edo State. You know, born in Edo State. I left Nigeria in my 30s, so it's not as if I left when I was 9 years
old.
So
are you actually banking on the huge population of Edo people in the diaspora to actually deliver you during this election? Because, I mean, we have a huge diaspora community from Edo State in different parts of the world. Is that the motivating force behind your decision to come out?
No, that's not just the only force. I belong to my primary school alumni. I belong to my high school alumni. I belong to my university alumni. So I have always been relating with my people, you know, even when I was being in the diaspora and all that. So I'm banking on the diaspora strength and the strength from back home. Yes, most of us from the diaspora are not able to vote, but there are some of us that are very strong who have their voting cards all the time. So because they want betterment for our society, we normally come home to, you know, exercise, you know, our strength and all that. So I'm backing on both the diaspora and, you know, those of us back home. And like I said, I've always been relating with my alma maters.
All right.
Yeah.
So just before I let you go, what will you do better than Godwin Obaseki, who's the incumbent governor, if you're given an opportunity to actually become governor of Edo State? Yeah,
like I said, I see retrogression. I have traveled on the roads, you know, and I see how the roads are so bad. And when I say we're dealing with human capital, we want to fix that road. And things are very expensive in Edo State. So we need to, infrastructural development is key. And that helps with human capital. Healthcare, everywhere is in shambles, You need strong people to be able to build a system. System cannot survive without people. And system, even when you build it, you still need people to sustain that system. And that's what healthcare, you cannot send a sick man, typhoid, preventive measures, killing our people all the time. So we need to strengthen that. Then education, just having PhD is not all that it takes.
All right.
Skills drive the world, and
guess you're taking the jab at your PDP opponents, right?
Yeah, so I see that my people have been marginalized.
All right.
My people have been pushed to the wall. My people have been neglected. There's a lot of poverty smelling in my state.
All right.
And we need to curb that. We need to control that. We need to save our people, using the talent and the resources God has given us to better our community. And
all right. I'm afraid that's the much we can take. Of course, I've got some people also questioning your name in Ndidi-Key, and they ask, are you really from Edo State? And I think you're from Igweben local government, right?
Igweben. My mother is from Achala Iguzo.
Okay, so
yeah, that's what
I mean, the confusion keeps coming here and there, but we must thank you so much for joining us to help us shed light on your governorship candidacy, and we just hope that you do more work to actually earn the votes. Not just because you're a woman, but because you deserve it. Thank you.
For me, it's not about competition, it's about collaboration.
All right, we must thank you so much, Patience. Ndidi-Key is the governorship candidate of the People's Redemption Party, PRP, in the September 21 Edo State governorship election.